and welcome to Telile Today. Joining me in the studio today is Greg Silver. Hello, Greg.
Hi, Rhonda.
Now, you are a member, actually, you are probably the chairman of the Almadam Tourism and Trade Association.
That's correct, yep.
Okay.
That's my new title.
Right. So you want to tell me a bit about the association and what it does for Almadam?
Yes, I'd be very happy to do that. I'd like to start by talking a little bit about where the association started. And it began before I came to Almadam. I've only been here for 4 or 5 years. But sometime after the GTA study was done on the economic future of Almadam, around 1993 or 1994, it was determined that the tourism sector did represent some opportunities for Almadam. And as a result, a few people who were involved in the tourism sector here formed Tourism Almadam, often known as TIM. And it was an organization whose purpose was to bring together the tourism operators to help plot the path for tourism development on the island. When I arrived here when I moved here in 1997, I became interested in the organization and attended a few of their meetings, and it became pretty clear that there perhaps weren't enough pure tourism operators to have a strong enough association. There were many people who were interested in it, but when we talked to the different people who were members and who weren't members, the opinion that I came away with was that there are people in business here who do serve tourists, but they don't see themselves as tourist businesses. And this might be a grocery store, who most of its business is with people who live here and who are buying groceries week in and week out. But a visiting tourist will also buy groceries there.
Right.
The same holds true for grocery store, for gas stations, and it holds true for a corner store, for a fish shop, and even for places that might sell outboard motors or repair boats or repair cars. Tourists all have the same needs as people who live here. It's just that they have them over a shorter period of time, and perhaps need them in more of an urgent, way.
Yes.
What also became clear to me when I moved here is it's really difficult to find out where all the businesses and services are that you need. If I needed to get a pair of shoes repaired or the alternator fixed on my car, there's no yellow pages for Almadam that shows you, who's in business to do that and where they are, and what's a name that you can call, to get some help or some advice. It's taken me as long as I've lived here, and I still don't know where all the services are that I need, but I have certainly found out that there are lots of businesses.
Right.
All that to say that it became clear to me and others as I talked to them that one of the things that this association could do is bring in businesses that weren't strictly tourism businesses, but did offer services that tourists need, and let those businesses be part of the association that was going to determine how tourism would unfold on the island. What that's come to today is an organization whose name has been changed from Tourism Almadam to the Almadam Tourism and Trade Association. And that's to acknowledge the fact that many of our members, our business members, don't see themselves as primarily being in tourism, but they certainly are in trade. They're selling things or making things or repairing things or providing some kind of service that tourists may or may not need. But those are all things that we need to make the island work better, to have a good business climate where people can easily and conveniently and economically get products and services that they need. Having a good base of industry and business on the island makes it easier to live here. And one of the goals for the island is obviously not just to attract tourists, because there are some limitations as to how many tourists we can handle and how much money we can make from them. But we have a lot of potential to add more residents on Almadam. And by making the business world on Almadam more accessible, more visible, it makes it easier for people to make a decision to live here. And I say that because particularly with the growth in industry in the Strait area, for example, Almadam's perfectly positioned to be a residential community. So we really need to show our face to the world so that people think about Almadam as a place to do business, perhaps a place to live, a place to visit. And the Tourism and Trade Association is all about making the businesses more visible to each other, to residents on the island, to occasional visitors, and to help the business community market Almadam in much the same way that a company like Nike or IBM or Coca-Cola markets itself.
Right.
And so one of the first things that we did when we embarked on our project in 1998 It's been 4 years in the making. But the idea was to determine how we could best promote Isle Madame. And one of the ways to do that is to create a brand mark or a logo.
Right.
And we could take a look at that right now.
Okay.
This page here shows a sign, and many of you people in the audience will have seen this sign on the 320 just as you arrive on Isle Madame from the Burnt Island Bridge.
Right.
And the sign is welcoming you. And what it's displaying is a logo that says Isle Madame, and it has an illustration of a miniature Isle Madame that shows a few of our landmarks, like the
church.
The big church in Ayrshad is there with the twin towers on it. We have some trees. We have beautiful little
Lighthouse.
coves, lots of greenery, a lighthouse. You know, it shows that we're an island. It shows that we're natural. It shows we have some history and some heritage. And over time, people will learn that this stands for Isle Madame, and it will help us market Isle Madame. One of the big things I wanted to talk to you about on the show today, Rhonda, was what Tourism and Trade Isle Madame is doing to help businesses on this island.
Right.
And as a result, to help the economy of the island. And that's to embark on a promotion program.
Okay.
Our association is not a development association. Others can do that. Development Isle Madame is a development association. The various community economic development groups provide activities and fundraising for things like social services.
Right.
This organization is purely a business association. It's a place where business owners and business managers can come together to network, to have other people in business that they can talk to talk about ideas or problems. It's a place where business partnerships can be formed. In other words, it's a place where business people can network with each other.
Okay.
So
this association would only be for somebody who has a business up and running.
Yes, I don't want to say just a business, because we have other organizations besides businesses who would find it quite beneficial. And you know, for example, any organization that provides services to island residents, and that could be a yacht club. It could be a community hall that has a hall available. You know, it needs crowds to come and use the hall. It could be a group that manages a park or some kind of historic heritage facility, like the Historical Society.
Okay.
You know, which wants to attract crowds to its forge, the Lenoir Forge Museum.
Right.
So there are a number of non-profit organizations who would certainly qualify and benefit from membership in the association.
Okay.
But as a group of let's say, business and association owners and managers and employees, by all belonging to one group, we can talk to each other. And one example of that was a luncheon meeting that we held in early December to announce our new signage plaza. And the signage plaza is the project that we started in 1998.
Right.
One of the main purposes of the signage plaza is to make sure we had a very dramatic, warm welcome to Isle Madame. And that's a great place to use our new logo. So this sign I was showing you, that you see, basically is the
quite
signal.
visible.
It's very visible. It's
Very
big,
visible.
It's very colorful. And what it does is it points you to our sign plaza. And the sign plaza, and I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but we have an acre and a half or so of land just on the south side of Route 20 as you arrive on Isle Madame.
Right.
And in that signage plaza, we have built a little structure here, a little roofed structure, which basically presents this map of Isle Madame.
Okay.
Now, this map is, I've been told, is one of the most complete and detailed and accurate maps of the island. I'm surprised how long it took us to come up with the map, but it was the drafts of the map were circulated to a number of people around the island. Many of the smaller roads and streets and so on don't have road signs or street names on them, and so people in the community have names for them. People in different communities might call them by different names. So we had to come to agreement on what to call them and what were the proper English and or French names, because we attempted to make the map as bilingual as we could.
Okay.
The other thing we attempted to do, besides naming all the communities and the main roads, we have identified a number of facilities on the island that residents should know about, new residents like myself particularly can really use a map, but visitors to the island will find it very helpful. And we have things shown like where the new Cape Auget Eco Trail is.
Yes, I see that.
Yeah, where there's another trail up here.
I see that, right in here.
The Doyle Road Multipurpose Trail, which is for walking or hiking or even horse riding.
Sure.
That's a nonprofit project which is going to create not only interesting things for residents on Almadam to do, but for visitors.
Well, I think the ATV Riders Club, the Almadam ATV Riders Association, had a poker run a little while back, and they used that facility. And there were people from off Almadam that came to the area, so
Certainly.
they're familiar with that trail now.
Yeah, events like this, particularly when you take a group like the ATV Riders, there's a lot of people here who belong.
In that
it helps them.
yeah.
It helps them organize their activities, and it helps them look after the island and their trails in a responsible way.
I didn't partake, but some of the people that did told me it was an awesome trail, like very well groomed, very nice, smooth riding compared to some.
Yeah, I understand that trail's been quite improved. But the interesting thing about this is it's created opportunities for visitors to come here with their ATVs. And when they're here, they're buying fuel, they're buying food, they might be staying overnight in an inn or a hotel, but they're here like tourists.
Exactly.
And that happens a lot of times in the winter.
Well, during that run, if I'm not mistaken, all rooms were booked, be it bed and breakfast or the motel or,
Yeah.
And like you say, you have to eat. You have to get gas, you have to eat, you have to stay, so you might make a couple of phone calls home or what have you, so.
Well, it's good for business, things like this.
Yeah,
attract business.
exactly.
The parks are shown, the yacht clubs are here, any historic places we have like the Lenoir Forge and the whole Arashat waterfront redevelopment, which is going to become the important tourist hub. All the boat launches on the island, wharfs.
Which is excellent, because if you come on the island with a jet ski or a small watercraft, you want to know.
You want to know.
You want to know where you can get in and out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's great.
Now, the other thing that's quite important about this signage plaza, and this is perhaps the most compelling reason for businesses to take notice of what we're doing here and to become involved, is that in the signage plaza, there's this big map, which you can kind of see here facing the road.
Right.
Underneath that map is a business directory. And that business directory will list all the businesses on the island, at least all the businesses who join our association.
Right.
The way that we pay for this on a year-to-year basis to maintain it is in part through membership fees.
Right.
So every business on the island is being encouraged now to join the association so that residents and visitors will be able to find them on that business directory. And I think it's important because eventually what happens with this directory is that this becomes the place that people will consult to determine where to buy what they need. And if you're not on the list, you might get overlooked.
Right.
Even businesses that have been around for a long time will benefit from being here because there are always people, like myself, for example, who don't know about you because there's no other way to see your advertising or your sign if you're off the beaten track.
Path, yeah.
Now, this business directory, for every business and organization that joins, automatically has a free listing, and the sign will be updated every year. That's part of the maintenance money is to make sure that the sign is up to date.
Right.
And a logical time of year to update it is in the late spring, so that it's new in the summer. The biggest use of it in the summer will probably be visitors.
Right.
And this is the first thing they see. Another very interesting aspect to this is that once we have this list compiled, then we can then publish a printed directory, and that directory will be distributed throughout the island so that every household on Almadam will have a copy of this business directory.
Great. So if you're unable to get to the site, you will still have access to the business directory.
It'll be right there. Maybe it'll be under a fridge magnet in your kitchen.
No doubt.
Near your telephone.
Sure.
It'll have phone numbers.
In your phone book?
It will list the businesses by classification, just like in the Yellow Pages. So if you're looking for automotive repair, or shoe repair, or groceries, or
hairdresser,
overnight accommodation, hairdresser,
place to sleep,
doctor, dentist, drugstore, post offices, all of these things will be listed by category, so it's easy for a user to look it up and find them.
Okay, so for anybody that might have a business that are watching here, how do they go about becoming a member?
Well, it's very easy. We've created an application form for that, and If you were to call myself or any member of our executive, we'd be happy to get an application into your hands. As it turns out, we're now in the last half of January 2002. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be making calls to all the businesses we know of on Alma Dam to remind them of this opportunity and to ask them to join.
Okay.
So the application form is very simple to fill out. We're basically just trying to identify the business, determine what business you're in. So, you know, whether you would go under automotive or banking or medical or whatever. We want to know how many employees you have, because your membership fee depends on the size of your business based on the number of employees. So for a small business with...
Say you're self-employed like you...
Yeah, or if a small business that's under 5 employees, it would be $50 a year.
Oh, okay.
And for a large business, over 15 employees, it's $100 a year. And there's
That's
a middle...
still not bad.
Well, it's, if you think about it, it's quite inexpensive. $50 a year
is.
gets you year-round promotion. But more importantly than that, maybe, it's providing you with an opportunity to participate in our events. Our first one was a networking luncheon. We expect that members will want to do this on a regular basis, maybe every month or every 2 months. And our idea for these networking meetings is that we will have a meal or a refreshment. We will have some unstructured time where people can just kind of talk and get to know each other. And we will have some structured time where business owners and businesses and organizations on the island will present to the group to tell a little bit about their business. So it's a way for businesses to promote to each other. And what will come out of this will be businesses will find they have certain interests in common.
Right.
For example, maybe they can go get together and do things that they couldn't have done on their own. Or they will learn about news that one person has and another doesn't have. A lot of business news is inside. It's not in the newspaper or on the radio.
Yeah, that's
so,
true.
having an opportunity. The other thing is that just having a better understanding of what businesses are here and what's new in the business community makes everybody a better business person.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power.
Sure.
And knowledge allows you to make better business decisions. For example, if you were thinking about opening a new bed and breakfast.
You talk to George Keogh and you talk to, I forget his name, in Discoos.
Alan McDonald and Sarah McDonald.
Alan, Sarah,
yes, you might want to talk to some of the other B&B owners to learn a little bit about what to expect.
Yes. And the do's and don'ts.
And the do's and don'ts. So, there are many, many reasons. Before I came to Alma Dam, I had been active in a number of business organizations. I guess when I lived in Halifax, it was the Metropolitan Halifax Chamber of Commerce. It provided me with incredible number of opportunities to meet business people, and as a result, my business benefited from it. While this is not a chamber of commerce we're talking about here, it's basically a promotion agency. It's restricted basically to Alma Dam in the immediate vicinity, Lewisdale area, because it's part of our trading network.
Yes.
It's not there to be a chamber of commerce by any means. It's there to be an Alma Dam promotion agency, but it has the advantage of providing a place for all the various business owners who are our members to see each other, to meet each other on a on a regular basis.
I think, I guess, Greg, what's kind of stuck in my mind here, okay, if I had a business and I gave you if I joined the membership, paid the $50, joined the association, my name is going to be in the signage plaza.
That's right.
This mail out that's going to go out to all residents. Yep. What else?
Let me just clarify. It's not meant to be a mail out. If we produce thousands of these directories.
Okay.
The business directory. The business directory includes a map and a classified list of the businesses.
Okay.
Those would then be distributed by all the businesses on the island. They would be, when you go to the store or the doctor's office or or the bank.
There will be a stack there.
They'll be there, and every business will distribute them. So in the course of it, also our tourism promotion agency will be distributing them at trade shows. They'll be available in the tourism visitor centers around.
Okay, that's what I mean. They're going to leave Alma Dam.
They're going to leave Alma Dam.
Right.
We're going to use these in part to attract people to Alma Dam.
Right. Okay.
So we will, the tourism for Richmond County is handled by Recreation Tourism Department. We will hand some over to them, though that group is responsible for promoting Richmond County.
Right.
And then there's a larger tourism group, Tourism Cape Breton, which promotes Cape Breton. So this gives us something to represent Alma Dam, to give to those agencies who will take it out to the international trade shows, who will take it out to, to the mail-outs when when visitors who are interested in coming to Nova Scotia phone or write or email, there are packages that are sent out, and our brochure can be part of those packages that are sent out.
Well, that's great, because who knows where this is going to end up then, right?
Exactly, could wind up anywhere.
Really, yeah.
And when people have it, at least they have more reasons to come. They'll know that there's no problem getting accommodations, there's no problem getting food, there's no problems renting a kayak or a sailboat,
Right.
or going on a fishing charter, or doing any of those kinds
Or
of things.
taking their own boat and having a launch available to launch that boat.
Or knowing where to get their outboard fixed if it's not
Exactly,
working, all of those kinds of
exactly.
things. So and we
Exactly.
have everything here. I mean, what I'm amazed about Alma Dam in the area, it's small, but we have a lot.
Yes.
It's just hard to find. So part of this is to make it easier to find.
Right. And some of the services, I mean, I hear about things today that I didn't realize were there, like massage therapists and electrolysis, and some services you'd think you'd only find in a big city area, you know, that we do have right here on Alma Dam.
That's right.
It's pretty amazing, really.
Yep. And there's a market for it.
Obviously.
And just in the few years I've been here, I've seen more restaurants been added. The quality of food has improved. The quality
Yep.
of service has improved. So, you know, we can go out for a night on the town without going too far from home now.
Exactly.
Which is very nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this holds true for all of Alma Dam, I think. You know, like the north side has its own, you have your bed and breakfast, you have your Flatcom Country Inn, you have your post office, you have your garage. You know, Arishat seems to be, a lot of people see Arishat as being the metropolis of Alma Dam, but
Yep.
it's not really, because you can do the same thing in other communities too.
Yeah, it's true, although I think it's clear that Arishat is the downtown. And we need to reinforce it. I mean, there are things that Arishat has that we don't have elsewhere.
Right.
You know, in terms of medical services and so on, financial services we have in Arishat and in Petit de Gras. You can have a meal and a beer almost anywhere in the island now. There are
Yes.
places to go for that.
Yeah.
But what Arishat has, it has this developed downtown infrastructure.
Yeah.
And it has the new waterfront redevelopment, which is very important, you know, in
Right.
terms of providing a focal point for residents on the island, a cultural kind of focal point, but for visitors,
Really,
it
yeah.
promises to be a fantastic kind of hub, visitor information hub, where people will come. We've got a museum there, we've got some small shops there, we've got a place to provide entertainment and do events, but it's also a place that could be like our visitor center. That's where
Yes.
you'd go to find out how to get onto the Cape Auget Trail, for example.
Exactly.
And-
Like just across the street, like you say, Lenoir Forge, it was used for the genealogy summit for some activities there. They had the big tent set up for poor weather, and they had, I don't know how many people, but there was a lot of people down there. And then Codstock last year, same thing.
Yep.
And it's two different crowds you see coming for the two different events, you know what I mean?
Sure, different interests for different people.
But
Yes.
like you say, it's very multi-purpose. Can be used for so many different things, and it is a nice site.
Yep.
You know, they've
is.
definitely done some great work
It is.
developing that area.
Yeah. We have another major hub also in La Picasse, which provides incredible facilities for greeting tourists, particularly tourists that are interested in French and Acadian culture.
Right.
There's a library there. There are knowledgeable people. They're developing programs from La Picasse that are going to provide cultural tourism opportunities.
Right.
And, you know, with the Congrès Mondial coming in 2004, La Picasse promises to be a real treasure for
Oh,
Alma
yeah.
Dam, to help bring all those thousands, hundreds of thousands of visitors that are coming to Nova Scotia
I just
and get them
forget.
to Alma Dam.
But it's a lot of people they expect to come.
Well, it's a lot of people coming to Nova Scotia, and I think we have our challenge is how are we going to get them to Alma Dam?
Yes.
And that's what the Congrès Committee, I imagine, is thinking about, is what do we have on Alma Dam that's going to bring them here? Because there are other places in Nova Scotia. There will be events happening in Halifax, Dartmouth, in Cheticamp, in Clare, in Pubnico,
Digby, Yarmouth.
the Acadian communities throughout Nova Scotia.
And it would be so unfortunate if they missed out on Alma Dam, wouldn't it?
Well, there are good reasons to bring them here.
There's very good reasons to bring
and
them
we're hoping that, you know, our tourism image for Alma Dam will help
Right.
the Congrès organizers attract people here. It'll help put us on the map. And I
Right.
would say, you know, I think we can all be very proud of this. The people that worked on it at Tourism Alma Dam and the residents of Alma Dam can be proud of this.
Yes. It is nice.
You're going to see opportunities soon to have this on a hat or a T-shirt, greeting cards, and so on. both the map and this.
I believe we're going to have a sign on our lawn here. I
That's
believe we're
right.
members.
That's right.
Telile.
Telile is a member.
Yes.
As are about 30 other businesses and
Okay.
organizations on the island since we started our membership campaign in December. Let me just talk about membership a little bit. Membership is good for every business, and we know we have a wide variety of businesses on the island.
Right.
You know, from new aquaculture operations to garages and auto repair places that have been here forever, boat builders, traditional fishermen out for lobster and mackerel. And we've got high-tech businesses selling computers, repairing computers,
Right.
doing computer programming, accountants, lawyers, graphic designers, a TV station. We have all kinds of businesses here. And we don't always stop to think about what the variety of business is here.
No.
And if we were able to bring that all together and market it as one
package.
large variety, one package that has a lot of
Yeah.
variety in it, it would be better. It would be better for all the
Sure.
businesses. And if it's better for businesses, that means it's going to be better for everyone in Isle Madame. It's going to
That's
help
right.
our economy. It's going to keep people employed. It's going to bring money onto the island because it's going to make our businesses more able to do business outside of Isle Madame and
Right.
to export products and services and to import dollars.
Right.
Now, how do businesses in Isle Madame that are our members benefit from this? Any business or organization who joins, in addition to getting their free listing in the business directory at the signage plaza, also gets the ability to use this logo as part of their own advertising and promotion.
Okay.
Now, the idea is that, let's say that you're Joe's Service Station. Joe's Service Station would be able to use this logo that says they're an Isle Madame business, basically.
Okay.
And when Joe's advertising, Joe may have a sign off island, or he might be running a newspaper ad, or
Sure.
as soon as that
Or
Isle
Christmas
Madame,
message on ATV
or-
during the holiday season.
Absolutely. Certainly, and I don't want to underestimate the importance of Tilile's advertising.
No.
It's very important, and it's going to people on Isle Madame, so it's
Right.
a good advertising medium. But
Sure.
when people do advertising on their own, whether it's anything from their letterhead to posters they might use, to magazine or newspaper advertising, and if it's off island, or
Right.
if it's even just a little bit off island, like if we're aiming at the visitor market, adding this logo to their advertising will instantly position them as being Isle Madame.
Yep.
Now, if we're doing our job properly and using the resources of Richmond County Tourism and Cape Breton Tourism and Nova Scotia Tourism, then Isle Madame will be featured. We will be another jewel in that crown, which represents all the tourist destinations in,
Right.
in Nova Scotia. And this helps us sell Isle Madame as one of the featured jewels in the crown.
Yeah.
So any member can use this logo. It just strengthens their position.
Well, there's another benefit for joining, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Now, the question you started to ask was about Telile using this logo. Telile is a different kind of organization than a private business. It's one of a few organizations on the island that provides a service to everybody on the island.
Right.
Right now, it's everybody who has cable TV.
Yes.
But pretty soon, it's going to be everybody who has any kind of TV.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yes,
Very soon.
As soon as Telile is broadcasting.
Right.
So we want Telile, and as the board of Telile has agreed, it wants to be seen as an all Isle Madame place. So Telile would have special permission to make a slightly different kind of use for this. And this, for example, will become the call signal for Telile.
Oh,
So
okay.
this will be shown on the television. When we do our station identification, this can become the logo
Okay,
that
great.
helps identify Telile. And there are maybe just one or a few other organizations on the island who would qualify
Sure.
that way. But the idea is that when those organizations talk, they are representing the whole island.
Okay. So it would have to be a service that they're unique to Isle Madame.
Unique to Isle Madame and inclusive of all of Isle
All of Isle Madame.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, one of the most important things I wanted to talk to you about today and to our listeners is it's very important for us to have enough businesses and organizations in our membership roll so that when we present our business directory, we're showing a great variety.
Right.
Our goal, the goal that our executive has agreed on and accepted the challenge for, is to have 100 members. Since we started our campaign in December, we have 30 members.
Okay.
So we have another 70 to go. And time is of the essence here because we will need to have this directory sign installed in late spring.
In a couple of months,
And
yeah.
it takes some time to get the signs made and you know, get them proofed and make sure everybody's happy with the classifications they're in.
Right.
So I would really like to appeal to everybody who has a business or manages a business or runs an organization that wants to be more visible to the public on Isle Madam. And I can't think of anybody who wouldn't want to be.
No, neither can I.
But I would encourage them to call and ask us for a membership application, and we'd be happy.
Now, Greg, I know you're not an accountant, but I'm just thinking, okay, so it would cost you $50, maybe $100 if you have more than 5 employees, but...
Or, no, it's $100 if you have more than 15 employees.
Oh, 15.
Yes, so
Oh,
that's
my.
like the larger businesses on
Okay.
Isle Madam would and we have signed up a couple of those already.
Good, good.
Most of them are the small ones, as you can understand, but there are a few who are in the middle, who are kind of like between 5 and 15 employees.
But with all the advantages you pointed out, being in the plaza itself, being able to use this logo, can I call it a logo?
Yes.
Being able to use that logo, like you say, which will someday probably be more recognizable than the Nike swoosh. And
Hopefully.
and the handouts or the
The directories.
directories. Could you not probably, I know you're not an accountant, Greg, so maybe you can't answer this and I shouldn't be asking, but could you not probably use that $50 donation in your income tax purposes somewhere along the way?
Yeah, it's not a donation. It's a valid expense. And
Exactly.
it's an expense.
It's a membership.
Yeah, any business can expense their membership fees
Right.
for business associations. So yes, it's tax deductible.
Right.
But I
So there
don't
are
like to
very
call it a
few
donation
reasons
because
why-
any
No, it's
business who
not.
spends the $50 to $100 is going to get
True.
more than their money's worth.
That's what I mean, yeah.
They're getting a bona fide service.
Good
valuable
value for your
service,
dollar here.
Good value for your dollar. And it's pretty hard, like right now there's no one advertising medium that will put you in front of, that will put you, other than Telile Scroll. there isn't another one. And the
Yeah.
Telile Scroll is a little different because it's timely and
Yeah.
you wait for it to come up. The directory would be there on your fridge.
Yeah.
And the directory would be there on the sign for people arriving on the island. So it's
Right.
in both those situations, it's more convenient for the people who are using it. You can consult at any time. In the future, as we fill out our membership and the members start to talk to the executive about what they want, and there will be plenty of opportunities, the members will decide what else to do. There may be other brochures done. There may be all kinds of projects undertaken that help to promote business on Isle Madam.
Yeah.
And it's the members who will decide what it is they want.
Right.
And it's the membership fees and membership money that will pay for it.
Right.
And so it will be spent in a way that gives everybody good value.
So you'll also see where your money went.
You will see it. As I said before,
Wow.
approximately half of the annual membership fees will be used for managing the signage plaza. For looking after the maintenance. It's landscaped,
up.
it has plants, it needs to have grass cut, the gardens looked after,
Sure.
the litter picked up on a regular basis. The other half of the money will be used as seed money to develop these new projects and to administer the organization. We expect to be very busy with communications. We're going to stay in touch with our members. Email's very inexpensive for us, but there's still people who don't use email, so we have mailings to go out.
Okay.
We have events that we want to run, whether they be luncheons or dinners or cocktail hour networking sessions. It will all be user pay. We're not a charity. We're not a social service agency. We're a business organization that benefits society, but it also benefits the businesses who are the members, and they will pay and get good value for their money for their membership.
Okay. Wow. I don't know why, if you're a business operator on Isle Madam, you wouldn't want to become a member of this association. I mean, there's more. I don't see any minuses or any drawbacks to the organization. I just see benefits.
I can't think of any either. Any business that wants to do business needs to be seen by the public.
Yeah.
And our Tourism and Trade Isle Madam is going to create some good opportunities for businesses to be visible
Right.
to the public on Isle Madam.
Wow.
So step number one is let's strengthen the business community in Isle Madam by making it easier and more convenient to do business with.
Right.
And then number two, let's take it to the outside world. Let's take this strong brand for Isle Madam and all the businesses behind it and go out and meet the world.
Yeah.
Invite the world here and go and meet the world.
Okay.
And that's our goal.
I guess I'm hoping at this stage of the game, Greg, people watching this show are going to say, well, how do I get in touch with Greg Silver or a member so that I can become a member myself? Can you tell our audience that?
I can. I'm going to give you 2 phone numbers.
Okay.
And those are the numbers of myself and our past chair, Claire Doyle. Claire Doyle, past chair of Tourism Isle Madame. Claire's number is 226-0001. And she's at the Duke of York Cranberry Meadow. That's 226-0001. Or you can call me, Greg Silver, at 226-2005. And we're both in the phone book.
Okay, great.
And we'd be delighted to have your call.
Oh,
and if
yeah.
you don't call us, chances are we'll be calling you.
Okay.
But don't wait for that.
No need. Before I let you go today, Greg, is there anything else you'd like to add about the association before I say goodbye? And then there is one question I have for you.
Okay, well, go ahead and ask your
Okay.
question, please.
This is my question, Greg.
Yes.
Is this facility complete as it stands today? Because I've had people saying, how come there's no roof here?
Aha.
And I said, I'm sure there's a reason for that. And that's what I'm going to ask you right now.
Okay, this structure was designed to look interesting and curious.
And it
make
does.
people ask questions. As soon as you come
Off the bridge.
across the Burnt
Yeah.
Island Bridge, as you're starting to land on Isle Madame, you can see it there.
Right.
And it's meant to look a little odd. The roof part is over the sign
Right.
that carries the map in the business directory, so it's
Right.
protected.
Right.
For one, it protects the sign and it provides a little bit of shelter if there's a rain or something.
Sure.
And people want to stand there and read it. The rest of the structure, if you think of it, is kind of a gateway to the paths behind it, and there's a little walking trail that will take you down to the shore.
Yes.
There's a little roadway that will take you, here's the plan here,
Right.
to the boat launch on the beach.
Right.
Down here with a place for a turnaround for your trailer. There's a little picnic area, a little walk around through the woods and down the shore. And there's lots of parking here for motor coaches
Yes.
and motor homes and a number of cars.
Right.
So there's
I could see this as being a nice spot to, I don't know, I don't babysit anymore, but I do take the nieces and nephews out. But I could see this as a nice spot to take the nieces and nephews out for a couple hours, pack a couple of sandwiches and a couple of juice boxes, take them out, have lunch, romp around a bit, and
absolutely.
say we went out picnicking, you know?
Absolutely. And this, what we've done here so far is just the beginning. We believe strongly that over time, we will develop a little bit more of this land to provide some other things. For example, an interpretation plaza. We could be telling the settlement history of Isle Madame with a couple of graphics panels
Right.
here as a further way to enhance the arrival to Isle Madame. And this is the first, when people come to Isle Madame for the first time, this is the place where they kind of get the big picture.
Right.
At the same time, they're getting a beautiful view out to the passage
Awesome.
and towards Chedabucto Bay.
Yes.
It just is gorgeous looking
It is.
south here.
It is.
It's a
And
real
it's
thing.
nice even in the winter.
Yeah, it's
You know,
nice.
some people think it's a summertime thing, but it's not. It's even nice in the winter when you come across the bridge, you see that sign, Isle Madame, welcome, bienvenue. You know, it's,
Peeking out of the snowbank.
yeah, it's awesome. Well, I hope your phone doesn't stop ringing for a couple of weeks now, Greg.
I hope so too. We're very anxious to add every business and organization
Yeah.
on Isle Madame who wants to be noticed, particularly those who want to make themselves more available to potential customers on Isle Madame, and those people who want to contribute to to making the Isle Madame business community stronger, which can only help all of us.
Right, it's true. So true.
I'm looking forward to a flood of phone calls and 100 members in our organization before the end of February.
I hope you exceed 100, Greg.
Thank you. I hope we do.
Thank you so much for coming in today, Greg.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Thank you for watching Telile Today. If you have any show ideas or comments to make on today's show, I'd be happy to hear from you. You can reach me at 226-1928. Thank you for watching Telile Today. I'm Rhonda LeBlanc.